Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with a review of Eric Bischoff and the sports entertainment's most controversial figure. I can honestly tell you that I just finished watching this today, and I really was unimpressed. Like I said, I did the breakdown video, basically talking about what was going to be covered on this. This has been out for a few months now. I can honestly tell you that I don't remember how long it's been since it actually was released, but I waited a while until I found a good price on it on WWE Shop. With most of the documentaries, I'm always saying they're really good. I'm always putting them over, saying make sure you add them to your collections. But, with so many WCW DVDs just being, ran into the ground, the Monday Night War DVD, which was relatively good, from 2002, the newer Monday Night War series, where they covered the whole Monday Night War, and that thing went on forever. It was probably like 18 episodes and seemed like it was really repetitive with a lot of things. You've got the rise and fall of WCW. You've got the history of the WCW Championship, the World Heavyweight Title. So many DVDs that cover the history of WCW and everything that happened along the way. For them to put out an Eric Bischoff DVD. I really thought they were setting themselves up for failure. Bischoff, he did get in the ring a few times. You can remember he had the match against Vince McMahon. He had the match against, I believe, Larry Zbyszko. He had the match against Vince McMahon. He had a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. But there's not a lot to pack a 2-disc Blu-ray or a 3-disc DVD set of matches, of best ofs. You can put a lot of moments that are on there, a lot of promos and things like that, but if you don't get the payoff from the promo, to me, even if you can go look for it and search it out on the network, it doesn't really work out for me. To me, honestly, it was a good documentary of his life. From him growing up in Detroit and then moving around the country, him getting involved in wrestling. I honestly didn't know that Sonny Ono of WCW fame, the Japanese manager, was actually like a childhood friend of his. Actually, it was Sonny Ono's idea to come up with the Ninja Stars game, which ended up getting him into the AWA, going to Vern Gagne, basically giving him a portion of the sales of the game in order to put the commercial on his daily ESPN wrestling show. Is what got him into the company, which got him into sales, which then got him into announcing, which then got him a WWF tryout, which didn't work out. But then once the AWA finally closed down, him moving over to WCW, becoming the third-rate announcer, and then just being the right guy at the right time, who had a history in sales, a history of the wrestling business, that was able to move right into being the president of the company. And the only reason why he was there was that I believe Jim Herd wanted to put some competition out there in the announcers rate, and he didn't want Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross sort of slacking off on the job. He wanted them to be able to sort of push them to make them better, put some heat on them for what it was. But the guy ended up moving up to the top. He had some really great ideas. He thought out of the box. He always he would have these meetings, and he'd always talk about the fact that he was going to put WWF out of business. He was going to overtake the company, and with the help of Ric Flair, they were able to recruit, bringing in Hulk Hogan, which then brought in Macho Man Randy Savage, which then, brought in, guy after guy, whether it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, whether if it was the Big Boss Man, they just were raiding everybody from there, and that basically just came down to, him putting on a piece of paper WWF on one side, WCW on the other, and basically saying, I can't beat them head-to-head in a better looking wrestling show. They're better than us in that, but I can give the people what they want with more competitive action. Nitro really broke the it broke the sort of um show that wrestling fans were used to getting. Normally, when you'd watch Raw, at that time it was a 1 hour show. They would, put 45 minute of jobber matches on there, and then the last match would be a match of like The Undertaker against Damien Demento, or Yokozuna versus Ric Flair. Just really non-competitive matches against one big name against a superstar. And every once in a while, you get a match like Bret Hart versus Virgil, Bret Hart versus the 1-2-3 Kid. That would be a really good match. But most of the time, these main events just ended up falling flat and not really getting a lot out of what you were getting. So, I mean, Bischoff, when he came onto the scene with Nitro, your first episode, you've got, Big Bubba Rogers against Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan wrestling on TV at that time was a really big deal. Even though Big Bubba wasn't the biggest name for him to go. But then you go to the second episode of Nitro, I believe you got Lex Luger against Hulk Hogan. And of course, you're mixing up the whole Macho Man versus Sting angle that was going on at the time with those guys having matches on Nitro because of the fact that Macho Man didn't think Luger was on their side. Those early episodes of Nitro, honestly, were really, really good. And it's because of Eric Bischoff's thinking and, also having help of guys like, I believe Kevin Sullivan was in charge of booking there at the time. But, honestly, I'll tell you, I don't know if this is on the network or not, but it's good. It's not great. He had a lot of things on there. It follows his career. I don't like that out of the middle of nowhere telling their stories. They break into sort of showing what he's doing later in his life, whether if it's them talking about him and Jason Harvey of the Wonder Years fame, or from the first Starrcade being the outside judge of Sting versus Ric Flair. But they talk about Buffalo Bill, Wild Bill, whatever it is, Cody beer that he sells and how he does it. There's a lot of outside of wrestling things, but everything that's basically involving wrestling, you've heard it 10, 15, 20 times. Sometimes that are better than the actual documentary, the actual stories where they just let them talk and don't cut it. Those even fell flat on here. So honestly, in my mind, I wasn't a big fan of the Bischoff Blu-ray DVD documentary. Possibly wait for the network. If not, you probably already have it because you're still collecting them faster than me, and you're like Gemini buying them when they come out. But I wasn't impressed. It wasn't for me. So, part of me wants to watch the Dudleys documentary next. I don't know why I keep pushing back Scott Hall. When I did that unboxing the other day, I really thought that the Scott Hall Razor's Edge would be the first one that I watched. But, I don't know. I'm either going to watch the Dudleys or I'm going to watch the 30 for 30 OJ because I got one more part to go and I want to finish it. So we'll see you guys down the road. Peace out, everybody.